Welcome to the dark side. So, you clicked on this video for one of these three reasons. I said it in my previous video above. 1, you want to know how to gaslight someone. 2, you want to know what gaslighting looks like. And 3, you want to know if you're being gaslighted. Now, I started this series, I will link it below, of how sometimes you must visit the dark side. You can't really know if you're being gaslighted if you don't look through the eyes of a gaslighter. So I'm going to take you through the 20 most common phrases a gaslighter will tell you. So let's see how a gaslighter thinks like. Interested? Of course, in the beloved memory of the ultimate gaslighter, I decided to wear this. He is a big applause for the person that made gaslighting a trending term in 2018, that made gaslighting the most popular term out there in the Oxford Dictionary. Thanks to you, Mr. Ex-President. Now we know what gaslighting is, and some of us get to feel a little less crazy. So, let's start. I've done a previous video on how to gaslight someone and the tactics, but I've also done a video on Jeffrey Epstein and Larry Nassar because I believe that, like I said, we must visit the dark side in order to find some light. So, gaslighting number 1 is create an addict. Now, there are many ways to do that. Check out my video above. But you can't go to someone and say that they're crazy and that they're losing their mind because you're gonna turn up as a crazy one. And you can't tell someone that what they remember is false because you haven't laid those seeds of doubt. It's all about patience, gaslighters. Now, for those who are asking or saying, Olympia, why would you teach someone to gaslight? Well, my beloved victims, gaslighters already know these things, so it's not like I'm teaching you guys anything new. But for those who are being gaslighted, this may be an eye-opening video. Actually, it will be an eye-opening video because you will be surprised of how many common phrases gaslighters have in common. How do we gaslight people? First of all, you make them feel crazy. Second of all, you trivialize their feelings. You make them think that they're not important, that they are overreacting, that they are making things up. The most crucial, the crux of gaslighting, selective memory. You're gonna have to learn, like I say, to lie, and deny. You're gonna have to learn to twist, manipulate the truth to your advantage. And the more that you take them out of their reality by isolating them from their friends and family, the more you can immerse them into your reality. In the off chance that the victim does confront you, you have to act ignorant. You don't remember. What they're saying is not true. Why would you say that? So, we pledge allegiance to the Gaslighter Club by memorizing the following anthem. Phrase number 1. If you were paying attention. So the victim tells you something and we automatically need to invalidate what they're saying. So we kind of bring up a moment that they weren't paying attention or something that they forgot to do in order to validate our point. And then we use that one mistake or 2 or 3 that a person did, we're all people, to be able to say the phrase, if you were paying attention. And that makes the other person doubt. Number 2, just like the first one, if you were listening. This makes the victim think that they missed something, that they don't remember something correctly, that they misinterpret something. And then that's when you can get them into believing your reality instead of theirs. Falling into the category of selective memory and distorting the truth. We talked about this. Don't you remember? So if your victim decides to talk about an issue that you've been having, so for example, one time the victim got angry about the fact that you raised your voice and how you need to treat the person better. And you, in your mind, are going to convince the victim that you already resolved this issue. You already talked about this. Remember? Follow this up with the following phrase and you're golden. I guess I have to repeat myself since you don't remember. Like I've said, gaslighting is all about patience. It's about laying the groundwork. So in order for them to believe you even further and make them feel even more crazy and get your way, you have to be able to repeat the same thing over and over again until you convince them. You always jump to the wrong conclusion. What did I say the crux was for gaslighting? Denial, denial, denial. So you have to convince that person that they've come to the wrong conclusion, that what they're saying is not true. And you have to lie yourself way through it until they actually believe it. Number 6, you're gonna have to learn to communicate better. Gaslighters are masters. We are masters of projection. If we don't know how to communicate, if we don't want to communicate, we're gonna throw it on you. We're gonna say that you're the one that doesn't know how to communicate. Phrase number 7, you're being irrational. Now, this one really struck a chord when I was being gaslighted, going back into my gaslighting persona. You're being irrational makes the person feel self-conscious, self-doubt. Especially the people that are more susceptible to gaslighting are people pleasers, are people that are very empathetic. Phrase number 8, you are overreacting. Now this one is a big popular term in the gaslighter club. We use that all the time. You're overreacting. Because what better way to shut a person's opinions and feelings by telling them that they're overreacting? Phrase number 9, you are oversensitive. Now this makes sense because people that are susceptible to gaslighting are people that are very in touch with their feelings, with the way they communicate with others, and calling them, so they know they're sensitive, but calling them oversensitive invalidates whatever feelings they may have. I think we're on phrase number 10. You're too emotional. Now this falls under you're oversensitive, you're too sensitive, you're irrational. It pretty much falls under the same category, but you're too emotional. Again, these people you're gaslighting are very well in tune with their feelings, which is why they're very susceptible to feeling insane. You can't take a joke. Gaslighters are masters at negging. Check out my video above if you want to know what negging is. They will find a flaw and insecurity and they will grasp onto that, and they know that you feel insecure about this, and they will make fun of you. And they will say something that may be hurtful in general too. So when we do that, then we just throw in, you can't take a joke. And again, you make the victim feel like they're being oversensitive. The phrases kind of feed into each other. That's the beauty. You're so thin-skinned. This is the same as oversensitive. So basically, toughen up. It's not my fault that you're feeling like crap. Now, this is part of the deflection. This is part of taking the victim's mind out of what you're about to do. And that is, can you hear yourself? So the moment the victim starts going on a rant and you don't know what to do, you just throw in, can you hear yourself? And then the victim will stop and be like, wow, am I oversensitive, overreacting, thin skin? See how beautiful that is? Phrase number 15, stop taking everything so seriously. This is part of being the oversensitive part. You understand how us gaslighters are feeding off the same words but different variations? Stop taking everything so seriously. It's kind of like the stop, can't you take a joke? The other one, a very popular one, I criticize you because I like you. Now, I know for us gaslighters, that makes no effing sense. It's the classic, the one that the lie we've been taught into kindergarten. So the boy that pulls on your pigtails actually likes you, or the girl that bullies you actually likes you. That's where it feeds off, on that childhood memory, on that childhood idea that the only reason they're being mean to us is because, the only reason we're being mean to you is because we like you. You're reading way too much into this. So if your victim is going into very much detail about something you said, something that hurt them, just throw out you're reading way too much into this, and they might stop. Let it go, and you're off the hook. One of my personal favorites, the best way to avoid an argument and make the person feel irrational is, I'm not arguing, I'm discussing. This is where us gaslighters kind of get on top, take the high ground. The fact that we're not arguing, we're discussing. We're much more mature. So now that we visited the dark side, I've been gaslighted by quite a few people, so I've learned to identify the signs. And I do hope these phrases kind of wake you up, and when you hear them, you get into this train of thought of, maybe I'm being gaslighted. Because gaslighting is a very severe type of emotional abuse. And if it's done long term, it can take years of therapy just to understand what is reality and be able to trust your own memory, your own feelings, and your own intuition. It's very effed up. So please let me know in the comments below if you've ever been told one of these 20 phrases. I would love to know which one. Feel free to share your story if you want. And like I said, sometimes you have to visit the dark side in order to see what's going on the other side. Now, don't forget to help a girl out by smashing that subscribe button, ringing that bell for your weekly Thursday videos, dark or not. Give me a huge thumbs up to make Mom algorithm love me. And that's it, folks.